Today, last year, I made the decision to quit my corporate job and I want to pursue something on myself.
Of course,
Kayaknya nggak bisa loh, nggak sanggup loh. Gimana ya? So this is like a 1-year update of what I've learned, and I've summarized it into 7 key learning points that I wish someone would remind me throughout this whole journey. So let's dive in. So after I left my corporate job, one thing that really stuck to my mind is that I have to control my emotions even when others doubt me, even when everything is like shaking around me, because the only person that can control your life is actually yourself. And that's what I realized. Throughout my 1 year leaving my corporate job, I definitely faced a lot of doubts from people around me. And of course, a lot of things didn't happen the way I wanted to be. Because of that, I feel like I have to make it work. I have to know what do people like, and then I have to satisfy what they want. But I forget about how I'm feeling, and I forget what is my purpose in this world. So when I started to lose my self-control of taking care of my own emotions, I get very unmotivated. I became very sad, almost like semi-depressed about the situation that I faced, because a lot of things didn't really fall into what I've planned. But I realized that if I let that feelings just control over me, I am not going anywhere. And this is something that I've realized. The one that keeps us going is not people around us, it's not what people say about us, but it is ourselves. So even if people doubt me, even if people think that I can't make it, but if I myself believe that I can, then I will be able to do it. But if I let that words that people say to me sink into my heart, and I think about it over and over again, it will stop me from doing anything. There's a quote which says, "A ship only sinks when you let the water come in." And that's very true even in our lives. So once we let all the negativity in this world comes into our lives, it will definitely control us. But if we know our own boundary and we don't let those words come into our lives, and we know ourselves that we can do it, then it doesn't really matter and it won't sink. Another key thing that I've learned across my 1 year mark is that money is not supposed to be the driver. Money is not supposed to be what we chase after, but it's supposed to be our mission. So there's even a research where they compared 2 groups. So group A, they are driven only based on financial gain, and then group B is actually motivated by a mission. And it turns out that group A, when they started focusing on the financial gain, they became more burnt out. They're losing their motivation. But for group B, they have a higher sense of fulfillment. And I really find it very true. Even I said it in my previous video, where if you focus on the money, you will not reach anywhere. But if you focus on how you can help others, how you can use your experience to transform other people's life, that's gonna be more fulfilling, and money will come by itself. So only when we start making impact to other people's life, then we can see a difference in our own life. So life is really about just giving and not looking for something in return, but giving so that people can also feel the difference in their lives, because only by then you'll see the impact, and they will start finding you and also following you. So I think it's not really about the gain after, but the mission that you really hold in your life. Last time when I focus on the money, it really inhibits my creativity. But when I focus on what can I create today so that people can feel motivated, can feel educated, it really shifts everything around. Let's say you are working with someone also. You're working with someone because of money, but if it's just purely because of money, you don't really try to learn what's the process of actually working with that person. So if you feel like you own that company and you also work your best for that company, your boss will naturally praise you because of the work. Even if the boss doesn't appreciate you for what you do, but when you start learning fully placing your heart into what you are doing, you will at least get to learn more than what other people would learn in the same role as you. And if you just look at the money, you will at one point feel like, I'm not paid to do this. This is not what I should receive. I should receive more. But if you focus on the work itself and then you completely learn it, you set a timeline for yourself, what's the plan, once that is covered, then naturally when you have reached that certain learning experience, it will definitely give you another better opportunity that you don't even realize. And third, a lesson that I've also learned from quitting my job is that not everyone will understand your journey, and this journey of following your dreams is not a typical type of journey where a lot of people can understand. So at times you will feel very, very lonely. You know that your friends are working 9 to 6 and you have a flexible time. So at that point where you want to go lunch, for example, you don't have much people to talk to. Like, that's what I've experienced. But I realized that even though the journey gets lonelier, but that is where you learn a lot. It's the same analogy of me trying to climb up in a mountain where at the base of the mountain, there's a lot of people there because it's easy to dream, it's easy to list down your goals. But once you try to climb up to the mid-altitude, that's when your legs get tired. That's when you feel like you can't make it because a lot of people are not around. And then when you reach the highest altitude, that's where a lot of people can't reach it. It's not because of exclusivity, but it's because not a lot of people want to go through the pain, the struggle, the mindset change that you have to always put in yourself when you're going alone. And you can imagine, like, if you're going there by yourself, you have to constantly tell yourself, yes, I can do this, yes, I can do this. Even when you look at around you, there's people that might not be there anymore. So this is something that you have to take note. If you quit your job and you pursue something for yourself, it is really like you're trying to climb up a mountain and you don't know where is the end point. But at the same time, you should keep on pressing forward so that you keep moving on. Another thing that I've learned is that small consistency beats big commitment with no execution. So when I left, I was very active on posting on my social media. Literally every single day I have something to post. I shared literally all my life to the socials. And then there comes a point where I can no longer cope because I have to have family priorities, and then I have more things to do with the agency that I'm in. And then I realized I have no time for doing social media anymore. And then because things didn't really go as planned, that's when I told you guys I have this like very hard moment that I want to give up and I don't want to do content creation anymore. But I realized that when I quit and I didn't post at all, it's actually the moment where I'm starting to lose. Because the moment I stop, that's when I don't make any progress. And I keep on blaming people around me, like the situation that I'm in. I can't do this because of this. But when I started taking ownership of my own life and I told myself, it's not because of others. I can manage my own time and I have the capacity to do that. So I decided, okay, instead of posting every single day, I'm going to make a commitment that I'm gonna post at least once a week. To me, once a week was very bearable. As long as I keep moving forward, I want to see if there's a change. So I did so. I posted every single week consistently, and I didn't know that actually posting once a week was actually performing better than what I've posted every single day in the last 2 quarters of 2025. So I told myself, okay, this is a learning point that if you don't make any progress, you don't make any action, that's when you lose. But if you make, no matter how small of a commitment you make, as long as you do it, that's when you keep progressing and that's when you keep learning. So only when you stop, that's when you lose everything. But when you keep moving, even though it's very slow, even though if you compare to other peers, it's not as grand, but as long as we keep pushing forward and we don't give up, we will reap the benefits. And the fifth lesson that I've learned is that to remove negativity bias, because negativity bias is actually something that we've always learned from our survival ancestors, where they have to do it because it's a signal to threat and they have to do it because they need to survive. But sometimes what we do is that we're too focused on the negative without even thinking about the positive. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask yourself, like, what if I succeed? I watched this YouTube video from Leila Hormozi, which is very inspiring for me. Someone asked her, what if something really bad happens to your business and to you? What would you do? And to her, she said two things. First is you're either gonna die or you're just gonna suffer emotionally temporarily. So as long as I don't die, I just feel like I should just suck it up, like just suffer, because nothing lasts forever, and whatever that doesn't kill you will actually make you stronger. Unless like someone shoot me in the head and then I die, then of course there's nothing that I can do. But as long as I'm still breathing today, I'm just gonna move and think positively, do everything with my heart. And I believe that this is something that I have to take courage to do, because every single time I have this negativity bias, I can't do this, I can't do that, it will just lead to no progress at all. Which leads me to my sixth point of what I've learned after I quit, which is to start even if it's not perfect. So when I started my content creation journey 3 years ago, there was no lighting. I don't even know what I'm doing. There's no framework. But every single time I made an effort, I do it consistently. It's like a result card. Like I know what I should improve, what should I not do next time. And even though it's not perfect, but because of the consistency that I place, it actually helps me build my life right now. And people actually trust me to do their videos. They actually trust me in what I'm saying. And that is the benefit of actually being consistent. And I think people forget that it's not just when you make a certain goal that's when everything starts happening. But actually, movement builds clarity faster than perfectionism. So if you wait until it's super perfect, nothing is gonna work and you don't know what should you improve because you're not moving. So only when you start and then you realize, okay, this doesn't work, this works, that's when you know you have to keep moving forward with a similar type of work, service, and that's also a point of feedback for you to actually be better in what you do. Last but not least is that I've learned to be someone that doesn't really overthink and keep working with my hands, because the moment we overthink, especially when you leave your corporate job, you literally have all the time in the world to think. But what if you change your mindset and you change your schedule even to match the same as your corporate job? And that's what I did to myself. Last time I worked from 9 to 6. So this time I am also gonna work from 9 to 6. In that 9 to 6, I don't overthink. I only work with my hands. Work with my hands meaning I write scripts, I start thinking what I should do to move, not thinking what I should do just to think for the sake of thinking, but really to make action. So even before I be here in this studio, I have to know where exactly do I want to do this shoot, where should I place my laptop, where should I place my scripts, how should I do it. Every single action items, I will lay it down with every single thing that I do. So I work with my hands, not just by thinking, but also by doing. Because a lot of people, they quit and then they think, okay, I have more freedom now, I have more time for myself. But actually the goal isn't the freedom. It's actually the goal of being able to manage your own time to build something on your own. Why do corporate job has fixed hours? Because only during the fixed hours, it's like a structure where you know that you have to work in this moment. And instead of the boss, it's actually you who set what you should do hourly basis, what you should plan ahead. And this is why even if you leave your job, there must be a structure in place so that you can see the work that you do, and it's really like corporate, and you don't you don't necessarily have to work over 12 to 16 hours if you don't have the capacity to do so. You just keep it to very simple and keep it something that is sustainable, 8 hours, and then after that you can continue to be with your family, support your friends and all that. So this is something that I've learned along the way, and I wish someone would tell me that even if I leave, there still needs to be a structure in place. So I hope this video helps, and if you are also considering to quit your job, watch this video and I'll see you on my next video.